The future of Canada might be, I should rephrase this, the present of Canada might very well turn into the future of these United States of America. You have Zohran Mamdani suggesting that transit ambassadors are going to make your trip safe. And if you ever have to defend yourself, like Daniel Penny did, well, you might face charges for murder. There's a Canadian man right now who is facing assault charges because he beat the shit out of someone who broke into his home. I don't even want to give you the details. I'm just going to give you the 1,000-foot overview before we get into the article. The details are going to blow your freaking mind. Viva Fry, at the Viva Fry on Twitter, follow me. Tweets, "This is Canada. The intruder broke into the man's house with a weapon. Now the homeowner faces charges of assault. Anarcho-Tyranny." This is the CBC headline. Man charged after allegedly assaulting home intruder in Lindsay, Ontario, police say. The man was charged. This is from the Yahoo News article. I'm going to get to the article in a second. You listen to these details. The Kawartha Lakes Police Services says it responded to a call on Kent Street at about 3:20 a.m. According to police, the resident had woken up to find an intruder inside his apartment. The two had an altercation. I'm sorry, you don't have an altercation with someone breaking into your house at 3:20 in the morning. That's called, oh my gosh. I mean, an altercation? If you're defending yourself against grievous bodily harm, it's not an altercation, but I'm going to shut my big mouth. The intruder suffered life-threatening injuries, police say, and was later airlifted to a Toronto hospital. Police say the resident is facing charges for aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. What weapon did he use? Might he have used the weapon that the intruder had? The alleged intruder, 41, is also facing charges. Oh, thank goodness. A little bit of justice, including breaking and entering and possession of a weapon for dangerous purposes. Let me just take this out of here. And let me bring up the article. CBC News. Commie Broadcasting Corporation out of Canada. You appreciate the details. You'll see how far into the article these details are. Man charged after allegedly assaulting home intruder in Lindsay. Okay, fine. Alleged intruder and homeowner are both facing charges. Oh, it makes sense. They're both, it's not just the homeowner defending himself from a man who breaks in at 3:20 in the morning with a weapon intended for deadly purposes. No, they're both facing charges. A man is facing assault charges for allegedly injuring an intruder at his home. The Kawartha Police, we read that. According to the police, the resident had woken up to find an intruder inside his apartment. The two had an altercation, and the intruder suffered a life-threatening injuries. Police say he was later airlifted to the hospital. Police say the resident is facing charges for aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. The alleged intruder, 41, also faces charges. Possession of a weapon for dangerous purposes. He snuck in there at 3:20 in the morning. He was just going to do a shiatsu shin massage with the baseball batter. He was going to, what the heck is going on here? No, nothing. Hold on, let me bring the article disappeared on my end. Here, this one right here. Okay. Investigators did not provide any information about the case. Kawartha Lakes Police declined to comment, but on Wednesday, Police Chief Kirk Robertson issued a statement saying officers were only releasing a limited amount of information in order to protect the integrity and the investigation. However, Robertson's statements did touch on the assault charges for the resident who allegedly injured an intruder. While police do have the right to while people do have the right to defend themselves and their property if they believe they are facing threat under Canadian law, those rights are not unlimited in Canada. Thanks. The law requires that any defensive action be proportionate to the threat faced, Robinson said. Here, Robinson, you rapacious jackass. Someone breaks into a home at 3:20 in the morning with a weapon for dangerous purposes. The proportionate response to the threat is death. Period. Oh, you're supposed to beat him and just make sure he stays in place for the police to get there. Make sure he doesn't regain sufficient consciousness to use that weapon. No. Someone breaks into your house at 3 in the morning with a weapon for dangerous purposes. The proportionate response is beaten to death. This means that while the homeowners do have the right to protect themselves and their property, the use of force must be reasonable given the circumstances. Yeah, let me just assess the situation. 3:30 in the morning, woken up in the dark, don't know what the hell is going on. Let me just take a minute back. Excuse me, intruder with the weapon. Is it proportionate enough? I said, short of this guy tying up the intruder and then filleting him with a fishing fillet knife, this is absolute anarcho-tyranny. In his statement, Robertson also acknowledged that the case has generated significant public interest and emotional responses. This is not an emotional response, you dumbass. This is a logical, law-based response. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to make sure that it continues to gain significant public interest. We've done it with the Nova Scotia hiking ban. We've done it with the Ottawa trucker protest. And we're going to do it with the man who apparently beat the ever-loving shit out of a man who broke into his home with a weapon for dangerous purposes and is now facing charges. Anarcho-Tyranny, thy name is Canada. The Kawartha Lakes Police Services appreciates the community's engagement and concern. However, the negative commentary about the officers and their actions is unjustified and inaccurate. I'm not talking about the officers. I'm talking about whoever decided to charge this guy. Maybe you? Premier Doug Ford weighed in on the case. He said, what did he say? Weighed in on the case. That's maybe you don't want to use Premier Doug Ford and the word weighed in. Bada bing, bada boom on an unrelated news conference, saying the charges against the resident show something is broken. I know if someone breaks into my house or someone else's, you're going to fight for your life, Ford said. You should be able to protect your family when someone is going to harm you and your family with the kids. You should do. I'm curious. Like, did he shoot him? Did he beat him with brass knuckles? Did he take the weapon from the guy and use it against him? Something is broken in Canada. It's called Canada. And not the people, not the good, peace-loving people. The Canadian government is broken. The Canadian court systems is broken. The Canadian police are broken. And that is literally the definition of anarcho-tyranny. I haven't read the book, but I know the gist of it. The Archipelago Gulag? Hold on. Archipelago Gulag? What's the book? The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. It's a novel. It's like longer than the Bible. It's called anarcho-tyranny. Penalize law-abiding citizens, make them fearful to defend themselves. No. Yeah. Once upon a time, when I was in Canada, before I had acquired a shotgun. Probably better I didn't have it at the time anyhow, but I was sleeping in the middle of the night with my family, and I hear someone banging on the front door, sounding like they're trying to knock it down. And this was shortly after I ran for office. And I'm like, holy shit, what am I going to use? A golf club? A baseball bat? So I did what was probably the most reasonable thing. We went on the roof of the house. There's a hatch. And they closed the hatch, and I blocked off the hatch so that nobody could come onto the roof. It was the middle of winter. We had blankets, and we waited for the police to get there. That's the state of Canada. You can't get a gun for self-defense. If you have a gun for self-defense and you use it for self-defense, that's going to break the law. So you'll be alive. And they say, better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And there's some truth to that. Everything in Canada, it would seem, is broken. And it doesn't quite seem that it's broken enough yet. But maybe we're getting to that. Maybe we're getting to the bottom of that bottomless pit for the rebound of sanity. That's what's going on in Canada.